She's already just looking at me, but
did she want is she wanting lunch or something?
no, she's just, as I said, I've been sat here for like an hour. I've been making notes, making all my little bullet points scattered everywhere so I can pick up things, and I haven't heard a peep out of either one of them. And then as soon as you connected, hi, it's boop.
They were like, oh, what's going on here? I want a bit of that.
They're just
Oh,
nosy. They're just
welcome.
super nosy. She's a bit of a bully. Anubis, he will listen. Serafina, the girl, no.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Oh, I sort of like cats, but I also sneeze a lot around them. So I'm sort of like, this is perfect. I can pretend to stroke, but without the sneeze. Brilliant.
Yeah, you can love her from a distance.
Yeah.
Is that good enough? We need
because cats have this oh my god, the cats have this sense though, don't they? Like when you don't like them or they know you're allergic to them, they know, don't they? Like,
yeah.
If I go around to a friend's house, they've got a cat, it's gonna sit on my head, I know it is.
That's cat.
Like, oh my god, oh hello, like, oh,
that's cat. Hate a closed door and don't like people that don't like them, but yeah, weird.
Anyway, right, cat chat.
They enforce that on everyone every time. They just take
love it. Anyway, nice to see you again. It's been a while. It's been a few months, baby.
Yeah, it has. It's crazy. Everything, life is one big pivot, isn't it? And it just never stops.
Life's good though.
Life is wonderful. Yeah, life is wonderful right now. I'm healthy, I'm fit. I've got as I said, I've got my health, I've got my wealth, everything is good. I can't complain for now. It doesn't mean that I won't. At some point.
Exactly. This is good. By the way, can I just say, lovely whiteboard behind you there. I'm loving that.
Thank you. I got that a while ago, and I've actually, it doesn't have a lot of work on there. It more just has like affirmations and the 12 laws of attraction. Yeah, but it's really nice. So when I'm on my spin bike, I have that in front of me and just pedal my willpower and kind of shift my mindset for the morning. It really does help.
You are a pro. I love it. Right, enough of this joy.
I know, we need to get down to
it. So we chatted about this, God, that was months ago, wasn't it? We were like, oh, let's think of a topic that we can rethink and challenge, because that's what it's about. Like this whole rethinking work that I'm sort of exploring at the moment is disrupting our thinking and things that we just assume, let's kind of chuck it around a bit and let's talk about it. And one of the things that came up when we were chatting about it was complaining. And we were like, actually, you posted something, didn't you, on
I did.
That's what got us talking, wasn't it?
And it was actually that, something along the lines of stop complaining. And it was very heavily directed at something that I had been told. And, I don't like being told what to do. And I just kind of sat with the complaining for a moment and just thought, okay, well, if I don't complain about it, then what am I going to do? And it just kind of sparked something within me. And I was like, no, actually, I am going to complain. And I'm going to tell the world that they can complain too. It is your God-given right. So, yeah, it was just a post that I put on Insta. And it's actually done really well. I think a lot of people related to being...
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. You're right. I think it's like this sort of, maybe a little bit of the positive culture we've got around us now. Like, stop complaining. Always see the good stuff. Always be grateful.
Yeah.
And, exactly. And then I love that. And then sometimes it's like, no, do you know what? This is real life. I want to have a moan.
Exactly. Because look, let's face it, life is full of rainbows, it is full of unicorns, it is full of magic. I will always be the first person to tell people that. But yes, sometimes, excuse my French, it is really shitty. And what are we supposed to do? Just sit there when we're feeling discomfort and pain inside, just sit there with a smile on our faces to what, maybe make other people feel more comfortable? Oh, no. But yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later.
Well, that's it though, this comfort bit. Like, who are we doing it for? Who are we stopping? That's a great thing to explore. Like, what's wrong with complaining? Like, is that just because other people feel uncomfortable? Is it because we might sabotage ourselves and keep us in a space? Yeah. What is it that kind of keeps us from thinking complaining is not okay?
Well, as you said earlier, I think we're all in a space now of well-being and mental health and positivity and, as you said, gratefulness and motivation. But it's not always that way. It can't always be that way. Hello, yes, Serafina, excuse me. It can't always be that way. And I'm very, very, very adamant that we should feel what we're feeling and we should process what we're feeling. And for me, if I'm feeling something, as I said, it's causing me discomfort, it's causing me pain, I need to express that in some way. Otherwise, I am just going to sit in that space and just dwell and possibly get even lower and lower and start to convince myself of other things that were completely unrelated to the main source. But I know I don't want to go there. I know what can happen when you just, throw your hands up and kind of give up a bit. Yes, complaining is good. And that is where I do say, feel it, express it, scream it, shout it, cry. Whatever it is that you need to vent, speak to somebody that is actually, that you love and respect and that supports you. A lot of people will say, yeah, just be grateful. But a lot of times you can go to somebody to have a talk about it and just get it off your head. Or, for me, I'm very lucky. I'll sit there and talk to Serafina or Anubis, my two fur babies, call my mum, just let it out, because it also gives you the opportunity to reflect upon what's really important. Once you've gotten that emotion out, you're not clouded just by that emotion that you're feeling. You can actually go, oh, okay, right, that feels so much better. Okay, what can I do to now make this thing better? Now that I've got my system, I know exactly what is irking me. I know what's causing me that discomfort. What can I now do to make that situation better? And that's all it is. Just for me, I always say, allow yourself that space to cry, stomp your feet, throw a tantrum. I'm internally 5 years old, so I throw a pretty good tantrum when I'm ready. Train platforms, doesn't matter, inside or outside. But I think you need that. You need that release. Otherwise, if you pent it up, it will show up somewhere else, and it will probably show up on someone else. And those that you actually love and that are around you. And when you haven't had a chance to get something out of your system, trust me, it will show up in other areas. And it's the areas that you love the most and that you wouldn't want that friction or negativity to show. So get it out, people.
I love that kind of feeling like you're talking about, is like it's building up inside you. It's like a detox, like to release it. But maybe it's about like being careful, like what you say, being careful where you release it is more the thing to think about. So I'm thinking about people who complain a lot, and the thing, what happens if you're like a complainer, if you get that label, you start staying away, don't they? They're a bit like, oh my god, they've all got there's always something wrong. But if you can kind of think of it as a positive thing, like if you have that feeling like, oh my god, I just need a moan, I need a rant, I need just a good cleanse, get this out, and you've got that person who gets it and isn't going to judge, and as you say, they're just going to hold that space for you. That's it.
Yeah, you want someone that will listen to understand, not listen to respond. And I think those two are so. A lot of people don't really realize that they're listening to respond, but when you're listening to respond, you're not really listening to what the person's saying, because you're already trying to think of the solution or in your head. So you're really not taking it in, but you want to kind of surround yourself with people like that. Not all the time, obviously, because as I said, you can get a reputation for being a complainer, and then other people might feel like, oh, you're just going to bring down my positive vibe. But it's not that. I think, as you said, if you're venting to someone, but you're of the mindset that, okay, I'm going to get this out, I need to get this out, this is my moment to detox, but then you're of the mindset that, okay, do you have any suggestions as to what I can do to fix this? Or maybe within that rant, getting it out of your system, it has given you that moment to reflect and think, oh, okay, oh my gosh, it seems so much clearer now what I need to do. One, it doesn't feel like so much of a burden. It doesn't feel so emotionally heavy on you. And then that can actually turn into a bit of excitement, because once you figure out a solution to something, you're like, oh my gosh, I know how to fix this. I know how to do this. That's
Yeah.
really going to give you that excitement within. And then before you know it, you've actually conquered something that was fearful or causing you discomfort. And that's where we really, really want to get you. So it's the process. Complaining is part of the process.
Oh, I love that. Do you know what I've got in my head? I've only watched it recently, never watched it before. The BFG? Is it the BFG? Roald Dahl?
Okay, no, I read the book many eons ago.
I don't think I've even read the book, but I think I've watched part of the film. It was on Junior. Anyway,
okay.
You've got the jars, and the things are in the jars. What is it? Dreams? He's a dream catcher, isn't he? You're like, no, that's a completely different story.
What years ago, Eleanor? You're showing up my age, babe. You're showing my age.
There's animation, and there's a dream catcher, and he's got the dreams in the jam jar,
right,
and he's catching them. And I kind of feel like a complaint or something that's brewing inside you that you want to get out is that, isn't it? It's like trapped.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't let it out, it is gonna, as you say, it's gonna like feel harder. And
the more you don't,
is sort of how you release it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And the more that you don't speak about it, the harder it's going to for you to be able to say something later down the line. And then you just convince yourself, oh, I'm being silly. Oh, no, it's really not that bad. And then you just sit there feeling really sad and depressed in a corner, rocking in the fetal position. It's not healthy. That isn't healthy. Like, not getting it out is not healthy. Not speaking about things is that's not the right way to go. And even I think in society as well, we're all just kind of very self-made individuals. So, we're all very capable, fully, functioning human beings that never have any worries. And if we do, put on a smile, you'll be fine. And for me, I believe that to be toxic. I think that's quite toxic, and it's not an environment that you can sustain in a completely happy mode. If things are happening to you, especially when they're bad or discomforting, and you're not having an emotional reaction to that, I think they kind of label that as like some sign of psychotic, or like, no, like it's not good. Like, you're not that person. You don't want to be that person. It just turns you into a shell, and you're a human being that feels lots of different things. So just explore that, allow yourself to explore that. And if somebody tells you to stop complaining, just be grateful for what you have. Just say to them, well, I am actually grateful for what I have, but this is actually really causing me some pain, and it's making me feel sick. If that causes
you can be both, can't you? Yeah. Sorry to over you.
Sorry.
That's the thing in my head, because like you can be both, can't you? You
exactly.
can be grateful and still feel a bit like you need to share something. Like you can be both things, I think.
Of course, you can be grateful and you can still want more.
Yeah.
Yes. How can it not be a thing? Like, to me, that doesn't make sense to say that you can't have that. I am grateful for everything that I have. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for my circle. I'm grateful for lots of things. But there are also lots of areas in my life that I want to improve. Yeah. So should I just not improve those areas because I should be grateful for what I already have? How does that make any sense? You have to find the balance and find what's logical for you and what makes sense for you, because what makes sense for you and what's right for you isn't going to be right for somebody else, and it's not going to make sense for somebody else.
Yeah, makes sense. I think as well, like you've said before, when you have a feeling of complaint, or there's something nagging you, you're just like, oh God, this is just like feeling uncomfortable. It is obviously something. It's a clue to something that's going on that either matters to you or needs addressed. I think that's the other thing. It's sort of, we shouldn't be dumbed down. Like some things that you want to complain about or raise your voice or speak up about are going to be really important to you. Exactly. And they're going to matter. And if you're you're training yourself to like, oh God, I'm feeling negative, but I should just be quiet and just get on with it. Mm-hmm. That's not progressive either. So it's more like owning the complaint, like not, instead of like a complaint becoming like, as you said, like if you don't do it well, it comes out. Mm-hmm. Or it never comes out at all, or it comes out in the weird area,
where you really don't want it to show up. Yeah.
So if you feel like it's something that you can own and work through, and, okay, what do I want to do with this? If something's mattering to me and I want to speak up about it, how do I do it well, that I can really articulate? So yeah, it's sort of all in that space, isn't it, of being confident to kind of speak up.
It's yours. What's relevant to you is going to be, and I think this is exactly what I said in the little that I made, is that what's relevant to you is going to be relevant to you. You might think somebody else's problem just sounds stupid, like, oh gosh, why don't you just do X, Y, Z? That will fix it. But for you, you might not be able to see your solution so easily. But what's relevant and what matters to somebody else might not seem like anything to you. But own what matters to you, even in just giving yourself a moment to go, okay, do I really care about this? If the answer is yes, then care about it. Like, that's absolutely fine. I think just sitting with that and just saying, okay, I feel this, okay, this is happening, that's absolutely fine. There's no right or wrong, there's no right way or wrong way to process it. But what I will say then is just what's worked well for you before. So when you was feeling this way, what worked well for you before to get you out of this kind of little funk, or what helped you before? Was it speaking to somebody? Was it writing it down? Was it sitting in front of a mirror and having a conversation with yourself about what it is that's getting to you? Is it phoning a friend? Was it getting a coach? Was it speaking to your mentor, or speaking to just someone that you respect at work? There's lots of different ways that you can express that, but what works well for you? And just roll with that. What works well with you? How do you communicate best? How do you express best? And take it from there. Find that person, find that avenue, and when you get there, express like a I didn't swear, I muted myself, people, just in case if you thought. But yeah, express and just get there. Like, and it will feel less uncomfortable if you're expressing in a way that does work best for you. So whether you're writing it down, that feels more comfortable. Some people might actually need somebody in the room. So however it's best for you, get it out that way. It's yours. Own it.
Oh, I love that. I love it. It almost feels like you need a complain program, like a training program. Like, how am I going to work on
the line? So it needs to set up
you know what I mean? Yeah.
1, 1, 2, complain.
But you're right. Complaining is part of being a human. Or again, we're using complain loosely. We're sort of like anything that's kind of like gets our shoulders up. Use cat speak. It's the cat. That moment that's going to like make you go and want to vent or share. And we, as a human, you should, as you said, you should experience that emotion. If you're not experiencing it, can you imagine you're just floating through life? What are you accepting? What are you compromising on? What are you not doing for yourself that just allows you to kind of float on by? You can get cross about stuff. You can stand up for things. But I think you hit the nail on the head with it's the way you do it. It's what you want from it. It's being more intentional with your complaining almost.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it takes practice because as we always say, we're fully human beings and we are meant to feel. That is how we connect. That is how we connect to each other. That's how we connect to the world and things. But I think if we're not doing that, it's an automatic, I'm going to stay here. And if you stay in that space, it is just so toxic. And it can be really, really detrimental to your well-being and to your health, because when you're feeling that emotion, it will stop you from taking action on lots of other things. Feeling like you can't make something better can make you feel quite debilitating sometimes. Like you're frozen, you can't move. But then just taking yourself through that process and just saying, okay, why is this bothering me? Why is this really pissing me off? Like, why is it making me feel so sad? Do you want to continue to feel this way? Because some people are happy in their little wallow of sorrow.
I love that. The wallow of sorrow.
Your little wallow of sorrow. That's where you want to stay. Okay, but then you have to be mindful that you are choosing to stay there. That is not anything to do with anybody else. The only person that can get you out of that is you. But I think when you do step to somebody else that knows that you're going to try and be a little bit more positive about it. So as I say, it's not that gratitude and yay, I'm so happy, this is so wonderful, oh my God, like no, it's not that. It's just going, okay, this person knows that I'm going to come to them for something because it's really challenging me. And then by the end of it, we will find a solution. I'll feel better. And that's the whole.
Just for getting it out, as you say. What do you think about when I'm sort of going back into corporate life a little bit in my head, which is
yummy.
I'm just thinking, like,
to complain.
Exactly. Do you know what? Maybe it's changed a little bit because office, I think, was like breeding ground for complaining. Like it was like where it grew.
It could be anything.
And maybe it's changed a bit because people are in the office. But what I mean, you're working with corporates now and stuff. Do you see that change of, you know, where is that kind of I don't know, what am I trying to get at? The peer pressure, I guess, to complain. Like, do you see that still there? Has that changed?
I think it's possibly gotten a little bit better because corporations have had to take into consideration, especially during the pandemic, their employees' well-being, their mental health, and their mindsets. Because it was all a very, very weird time working from home, isolated. There was a lot of compounding factors. So I think corps really did turn up and amp up the wellness, taking breaks, creating spaces where their employees can speak to people about how they are feeling, what's happening with them at home, etc., etc. So I do think that it's gotten a bit better. But what I do fear slightly is that now that everybody is going back into the office, you know, we're all big kids. Those things are going to pick back up pretty quickly. I mean, I remember getting super frustrated that someone took my pen, you know, from my desk. You know, these things. Probably we were on the same floor. Like, you know,
I was a bit pen snaffler.
I think it's and that's the point.
Then
we would never like now, if someone took my pen, oh my goodness, dude, take the pen. Like it's really not that big of a deal. But back then, when you was constantly in that environment, you know, that was our normal. We didn't you could get really aggravated by someone taking something from your desk, you know. So it's those little grievances, and you would want to say, you know, Tracy took my pencil, don't you? Like she doesn't have a whole load of pencils on her desk already, but okay. You vent it to someone, probably to the person that you're sat next to. You see, and you do it all the time. It's perfectly okay. You vent your little grievances so that they don't become big things, or lots of little grievances don't add up before, you know, you just walk into your workplace and just get at everybody, because, you know, you keep things pent up all the time. But to take it back, I am hoping that now that everybody is going back, corps do still maintain that focus on people having that space to speak, regardless if it is solely about their careers development or if it is about what's going on with them personally. So I am hoping that is definitely a shift that is taking place. But I think just installing in people that it's okay to not feel okay, because I think everybody's just, you know, the what we're told at the moment is, you know, feel okay, you know, that everything's, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, there is, but in that moment that you're not feeling great, you can't see that light. And it's important to process that. As I said, why are you feeling that way? What is really niggling at you? Hone in on what it is. And next step, how can I make that better? What can I do to turn this situation around? Do I need help? Do I need somebody to help me? Is it something that I can do by myself? What's just the one small step that you can take just to move the needle to you feeling a little bit better? Because once you make that small step, just a needle, doesn't need to be a big grand step, because once again, we all feel like we're striving somewhere and we're all looking at other people, what they're doing, and oh my gosh, they're so amazing. It's like, no, it just takes one needle of movement just to help you getting better. And then it rolls and it rolls, because then you start to feel better, your confidence lifts, you start to do another step, you start to get closer to fixing what is causing that emotional distress.
Do you know what? I think you've just highlighted something because again, I've got people in my head now that I'm like, oh, total office complainers. A long time ago, but they're springing in my head. Like they'd walk in the office and they'd just bring a cloud of grey instantly. Yeah. And you're like, wow, how'd you do that? That's like,
it's quite impressive.
Yeah, it's like, God, you've just walked in and just pissed on everyone's like good day. That's amazing. That's got to be some sort of talent. But I don't know how we maybe like some sort of I don't know, they could create energy from it or something, like, you know.
Exactly. Turn it around. Like, let's turn that energy around somehow. Yeah.
Can we fuel electricity with your bad mood? But I'm thinking what you've said there is that how do we help people? And this is the hard bit. So we maybe see someone who's a bit of a complainer and they're always complaining about everything. Let's keep in work, but obviously in life.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh my God, how do we help them to do what you've just said? Because they need a moment that they hear themselves and think, oh my God, what the hell am I? Why am I getting angry? Because, as you say, Sheila's swapped my chair around. Like, I saw a massive meltdown because moved my chair. I don't think she was called Sheila, but we'll call her Sheila. Proper meltdown, like someone swapped the chair around. Like, oh my God, it was, and everyone's like, and then that was it. All day complaining, this place is this, and it's like, oh my God, how do we help Sheila? Like, no, Sheila, it's not this place, and it's not your chair. It's you. You need. How do we help them, Monique?
Yeah, so Sheila, it's not end of days. It is okay. It's a chair, and as Eleanor says, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the company. So,
would you actually go and say that now to someone like that?
I wouldn't, but what I probably would say to them is what I do tend to do when I see people freaking out about anything. I'll just pull them aside and go, "You're okay."
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's good. Yeah,
no. Have a little chat because this isn't really like you, or if you know the person, it all depends on what they're, open quotes, complaining about, what is happening.
Yeah.
If somebody is really going AWOL, oh, sorry, she's just seen magpies outside. If someone is going AWOL over a chair that doesn't belong to them, trust me, it's not the chair. It is not the chair. And that's what I was talking about previously as well, is that when you don't listen to what's going on, it comes out in other areas that it has no place coming out in. Sheila's having a 5-year-old tantrum over a chair that doesn't belong to her because something is going on underneath the surface. Already experiencing an emotional triggering reaction to something that is coming out. She can't express it where she wants to. She can't communicate it how she wants to. So, but it's going to come out here. And unfortunately, whoever's swapped the chair is going to get it. So again, that's why it's just
going to do that again.
Yeah, don't take people's chairs, people. Like it can cause end of days in an office.
Or move it. Like if someone sat on your desk with hot desking and they've moved it down.
But they've left a cardigan on the back of it, so you know that is your chair. Oh yeah.
Oh, I love it.
All super important things. All seriously and super important things. But no, it's just take a moment just to maybe, as I said, depending on what the person is having or venting frustrations about, just ask them, just pull them aside. You don't have, and think about how you would want someone to handle you. Maybe would you want someone to just say something to you in front of all of your other work colleagues? Probably not. But if somebody was to just pull you aside and just go, babes, you're okay, is everything all right? Because I know you, and I know you're not emotionally attached to that chair. So there's something else going on. I'm happy to have a chat. You don't have to talk to me, but you should probably talk to somebody about what's going on. And even if that's not receptive by the other person, once somebody hears something and once someone learns something, you can't unlearn it. And that's going to set something off in their head to go, okay, yeah, I'm really reacting about this chair. Is it about the chair? And you've just planted that seed for them. And at the same time, someone's actually kind of comforted you, asked you if you're feeling okay, whether you want to talk about it or not. It's going to plant that seed of, darling, I know it's not the chair. What is it? Don't have to talk to me about it, but maybe that's where you should be focusing on what is causing you to have that reaction rather than what you just reacted to.
Yeah. Oh, we just need a Monique in the office, just like
I reckon so.
Come on, come on, that's not you.
Darling, come grab a cup of tea. Not the chair, like, come, let's have a talk. And if you don't want to talk to me, I will be more than happy to even try and help you find someone. Like, do you want to vent? Do you want me to go get you a notepad and paper? You can write it down. Do you want me to go and
that's good.
Or do you want me, like, how can we do this? Because honestly, showing up to work and like AK-47ing everybody in the office over a chair is not a good look on you. It's, because we're all just standing there going, she's basically just shot the whole office up for a chair. That doesn't belong to her. That is not, that's crazy. So just be kind sometimes. It's not easy when someone, because you just think, oh, stop, please. Like, you want to remove yourself. You said,
that's it. We all step back.
But sometimes, just remembering that we're not always on our own game. We're not always feeling 100% great. You have gotten frustrated at somebody stealing your pencil from your desk before. Was it the pencil? No, it wasn't. So we've all been there. It's just being maybe a little bit more kind, or you can just walk away from the situation and hope somebody else is a little bit more kind, because you get to choose.
That's not the message. We're trying to get people to help.
I'm saying that we all get to choose how we react to something, how we react to situations. Because some people, if they hear someone shouting, they go deaf. Like, you actually can't hear what the person's saying. So, it takes lots of different people to handle different situations. So if you feel like for your well-being to remove yourself from that situation is best for you, then remove yourself. But if you also feel like, do you know what, no, that it's not that is really bothering her, I want to help, then go and help. Because sometimes we feel like we want to help, but then we don't. So that's our action.
I think that's a good point. And it's got to be, you've got to feel comfortable. But I think the key thing to take from it, how many times, and it might not just be in the office, it could be on Zoom calls and things like that, people having strange behavior or meltdowns or something. And how many times have we just put judgment into that space? We're like, oh my God, did you see them? Oh my God, they're so, instead of what you've just said, which is like, hang on a minute, ask them if they're okay. Like, that was just strange. That wasn't right. Like, something wasn't wrong there. Instead of demonizing it and dividing and using it as conflict, actually go closer and actually say, God, are you all right? Because that was just a bit weird.
It's because especially over the pandemic, I think it's for people that had children like myself. I don't have any. I've only got my 2 fur babies. But for people that had children, it was really, really, it was traumatic. Like, don't get me wrong, I know everyone loves their kids, but if you've got 2 or 3 children running around inside, you're, trying to get dressed, you're trying to get presentable, everything's manic, then you've got to sit on a Zoom call with your colleagues that normally you wouldn't mind if they were fluffing about other stuff, but you're like, we need to get to the point because I've got these kids to get back to. So how they're communicating in that meeting isn't going to be normal because of what's going on in the background that you might not be able to see in that square box. So it is just a case of going, baby, you're okay. She'll be like, no, the kids are driving me crazy. My husband hasn't done any clothes washing for the past 3 weeks. The dishes are all piled up. My mum is driving me crazy. It could be a whole long list of things that made her or him have that reaction in that meeting. So
that's such a good point. I think we judge people too quickly on they haven't responded in a way that we think, or as we, as the title, they're complaining about something or they're reacting to something or something's like going off. And our initial first reaction is bad for everything that we've talked about. We see someone complain, we see someone react, and we go, oh God, this is a bad situation. They're a bad person. This is a horrible situation. And oh my God, I've lost you.
Oh no, sorry. Oh,
I think I pressed a button. Let me get you back.
Oh, what's happened? Oh, why have I got a?
Did I press that? I can hear your voice.
Okay.
This is me.
I'm still here.
The voice.
Okay, here I can see me. I wasn't on the screen before.
It won't let you back on though. How do we go back side by side? Oh, there we go.
Oh, hi. Where's Eleanor?
That was just like a floating head on the screen there.
It was so weird.
I love Crowdcast. It's absolutely cool.
I know. I was going to say, Life is one big pivot, baby. Life is one big pivot. You can complain later.
I'm definitely going to complain about that. No, never complain. No, I think, you know what? I think that this is a good chat to have because, as we say, we judge people complaining and but we're actually, instead of judging, we could ask them if they're all right. And we judge ourselves for complaining and we regulate ourselves. But again, we can ask ourselves, hang on a minute, what's going on? Maybe this is all right. So I think this is quite a healthy thing to embrace. And not that we want loads more complaining in the world. We want good complaining. I think
that's what solution-focused complaining.
Yes, productive complaining is a good thing. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Oh, thank you so much. I love these chats with you. I think we could have a topic like every week. We could just
could very easily
dive into a topic and just explore it. But that is one of the topics I think really fits into this like rethinking work where we just assume things. We're on autopilot and we catch ourselves wanting to complain, or we see someone complaining and we go, oh, and we have this reaction where actually it could be something completely different. We could rethink it and get a different outcome. So love that. And I love the cat that's obviously, you know, wanting a bit of...
has a mind of her own. She steals the show every single time. But
to be fair, cats are proper complainers though, aren't they?
Oh, constantly. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. Even when I am sleeping, they're still running around screaming. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to sleep. Seriously. And I have a rant about it to the cats. They don't stop, but I feel better.
They're not bothered. Yeah, they're not bothered at all. But, you know, yeah, I get that. I understand. Oh, thank you so much. Love that.
Thank you for having me.
No doubt catch up again for random ideas and things that come out. But thank you. I know you're very busy at the moment with all your corporate executive coaching and all this exciting stuff.
It's wonderful. I'm very, very lucky working with a lot of corporate companies at the moment, especially Warner Music International, working on their team. So, no, it's really cool. It's really
cool. Brilliant. Okay, I will catch up with you soon.
Thank you. Have a magical day. And I'll speak to you soon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.